Hi, this is Nikki, and I'm here to share the messages that I get from Spirit and from all of our higher selves that are on this journey to love. And so what I want to share today is just a quick analogy of what I saw in a healing yesterday, which will help other people. And also just to say, you know, this is a little bear that I've been using in my healings. Because it came through as a Christmas gift from my twin at Christmas. My twin's higher self, because he said, buy it and then don't look at the feet until Christmas Day. And then on Christmas Day, I saw that there was 2 twin hearts and we are grounding this love onto the planet. And so that is the amazing thing about the twin spirit. It can, I don't know how it does it, but it's just incredible to give you that guidance. So, the messages in a healing yesterday, I saw, because what I do when I do the healing for you, I connect to your energy and then I see whatever the messages need to come through. So it could be from a past life, it could just be a message around the energies, and these 2 are messages around the energies. And so what I see is they're doing a swimming relay race. She's in the swimming pool and she's swimming to the edge. He is going to dive into the pool, except he stops. But he has his hands folded over as if he's going to dive in by his feet. Now, take yourself back to childhood and remember the time when you first learnt how to dive and you were going to have to go in head first into the water. And I'm sure we can all relate to that feeling about how scary it is when you first do that first dive into the water. Anyway, and that's what he showed me. That's what he said. He said, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm just so nervous. And so we had to do some heart healing and some heart healing chanting. And then basically I see him dive in. And when he dives in, there's a brick at the bottom of the swimming pool. And it's a black brick, and he goes to he picks up the black brick, and the black brick turns into the Heart of the Ocean necklace, which was in the Titanic, and then he gives her the necklace. And so obviously and that is such a powerful way of showing how it's like, oh, but I'm scared to dive in. I'm scared to dive in. Of course, when he did, it was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then the black brick that had been the weight of, you know, you can just imagine, it's the black brick that is the weight of carrying around that burden of being scared to dive into the water, right? To be scared to dive into your soul path, to be scared to be vulnerable in love. And it's like a black brick that carries around and sits in the pit of your stomach. But of course, once you take the jump and you dive into the pool, the feeling of exhilaration, you know, then he turns the black brick into the heart of the ocean. So again, incredibly powerful analogy. The other one, next one, was I saw them baking a cake together and weighing out the ingredients. So of course that's all about coming into balance, right? Weighing the ingredients out, baking a cake. You know, the cake needs to be put into the oven. It's all about divine timing, because the oven doesn't come out, the cake doesn't come out of the oven until it's ready cooked. But then the next part of the healing, I saw 3, it was Goldilocks and the 3 bears. And so I was guided to search for Goldilocks and the 3 bears. And the significance of it was because the clip that I was brought up, and basically they said keep playing it to the end, because I was thinking, well, do I really need to watch this whole thing? It's about 10 minutes. And they said, no, keep watching it to the end. Anyway, the significance of it is firstly that the whole Goldilocks thing was based around them living in a tree. And if you follow my channel, then everything is based around the forest lovers who are entwined together for eternity around the oak tree. And the oak tree is very strongly, the oak tree has very strong symbolism because it is known as the most powerful tree. And of course, the sacred wisdom of the trees, and that's what we're doing. We're rooting the energy of these the energy of love onto the planet. Hence why this little bear also has, at the bottom of his feet, he is literally grounding love onto the planet, which is why I love that he came through in the healing, because it was Goldilocks and the three bears. Now, the significance of it was, right at the end, the change in the story was that the three bears and the little bear, baby bear, took Goldilocks home because she needed to find her way home again. And so it was incredibly, again, lovely message to get, because the significance was it was the bear that took her home. So again, just really, really lovely. Very, very, very powerful analogies of what's going on with the divine counterparts and with us. You know, that feeling, the messages, the channeled messages that I was doing yesterday was all about, very similar theme about, you know, really stepping into your vulnerability and being, you know, it's the strength. Somebody sent me a clip about a film, and it was Something's Gotta Give with Jack Nicholson. And there's a scene in the film, which I've put into the description box, but Diane Keating basically says how much she's in love with Jack Nicholson. And the first comment on there was so amazing. So I've put the link to the video. If you scroll down to the first comment, have a look, because somebody is saying the strength comes in being vulnerable and opening up your heart, and how they're admiring her in that scene because she was basically laying her heart completely on the line. And that is true. Your strength comes in being the true goddess that you are. And that's about not being afraid to wear love and your heart on your sleeve. So it was lovely. And the other film was called Brad's something or other. And it is a film with the guy from Meet the Fockers, Ben Stiller. And I think the letter number was 115, so I'll read that one. But anyway, yeah, so the very strong message yesterday was about you get strength from showing your vulnerability. That's the whole purpose of this journey. When you get to the point and you've gone through all the fear and the doubt and the, oh, do they like me, do they not like me, and past all the 3D stuff and they're not messaging me back and all of that stuff, which is just all, frankly, nonsense, then you get to the real crux of what it is. And it is being open and being vulnerable with your heart and not having to have any response back, because actually the power is still standing firm in your foundation of love. And the more strong and strength you can have in being strong in that foundation of love, the more you will let your twin see that he doesn't need to be frightened or they don't need to be frightened, because you're the anchor. So, for example, I sent my twin a Valentine's Day message, and I have told him many times over the years how much I love him. You know, he never sends anything back, never responds, but I don't need him to, because I see in his eyes, you know. It's not what he says in the physically responding. It's all written in the eyes, and the eyes are the windows to the soul. So again, it's about not letting yourself be wavered by the 3D or the, you know, the norms. That's the other thing about these relationships. It's about, it is breaking out of what we've been conditioned with. So, you know, the rules, if you see, you know, that book about the rules of how you should date and the rules about this and the rules about that. And of course, all of that has to be just thrown out the window with these relationships, because you are seeing to the very heart and the vulnerability and the beauty of that vulnerability. And just like in that healing, you know, the little boy, I always see people as little children as well, because there is something so powerful about seeing each other as toddlers, because it allows you to strip away all of that nonsense, right? And what he was doing, he was a little boy, stood on the edge of this pool, trying to dive in, and everyone can relate to that. So just put yourself on the edge of the pool, being a little toddler, just about to dive into the water for the first time, head first, right? And then you get a feeling for what the divine counterparts are going through at the moment. Very, very powerful. The next one was, the baking of the cake. The cake can't come out of the oven until it's ready. So be in balance and be the vulnerability of your union, because the power comes, and the power and the strength for your union comes in your vulnerability, to be honest, and the vulnerability of wearing your heart on your sleeve and really showing your love, no matter what, no matter. And I'm not saying, so if there being I don't believe a twin flame will never deliberately hurt you. So a twin flame will not be abusive to you. They will not hurt you. Ghosting you and not responding out of fear and doubt is a totally different thing, right? And so that's where you have to judge it for yourself. But I do firmly believe that you will know your twin flame, because your life will have changed beyond any recollection for the better, right? It may be that you've been shaken up along the way, and because a spiritual awakening is a bumpy ride, because coming out of the chrysalis is a bumpy ride. Some bits are harder than others, but to break free isn't easy. But that's what your twin does. Your twin shakes up your world for you to come out of your chrysalis. So that's where you have to judge for yourself. Is this a toxic relationship that I'm just obsessed about and I can't, and I need to move on? Or is it a divine connection which is from the heart, which is shaking my life all around me, and yet I just cannot? That's where because the universe will give you so many signs all around you that you literally can't forget about them, because the pull of the heart is so powerful. The pull of everything is so powerful, because it's your destiny that's written in your heart that is pulling you back together. So that's where whether it's a twin or not. And so, that's the message. The message is really, really powerfully about saying, at the end of that Goldilocks, it was the bear took them home, right? And the bear and it's all about grounding love onto the planet. And so that's the message for today. Be vulnerable. The power and strength of you is really embracing your God, Goddess self within, and really, really living your love, and not needing to have any validation from your twin in the 3D. Of course, when the time is right, you will get everything a million times over. But it's about understanding that in order to balance the seesaw, the more firm you are in your love vibration, the more you will balance and lift them up. So trust, because at the moment they're on the edge of the pool, taking that dive for the very first time. All right, well, I hope that helps. Take care. Bye.